Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and Kemcho to all our listeners, and hoping that everyone had a great Diwali holiday celebration. So it's great to be back with you all.
Great to have you on, David. And tell me, while we're on it, are there any updates on the domestic visa renewal pilot program for the H1B?
Well, that's a great question, Vijay, and I'm so glad you asked because it happens to be one of the reasons why our phones are ringing nonstop, because so many people are interested in the ability to circumvent the long delays at the U.S. consulate offices abroad. So we do have some interesting updates regarding stateside renewal, and that is that at least as far as we know, it's this pilot program. And again, it's only a pilot program, is set to begin in January of 2024. At least that's what the U.S. Department of State is saying. And what's interesting is that, and you probably know this, it's one of the multiple measures that the Department of State is taking to drive down the wait times, these horrible wait times at the U.S. consulate offices abroad. So they've recently announced things like improved staffing, improved cycle times, and also what they're going to be doing is they're hoping to also extend the waiver, interview waivers, which have been exceptionally valuable to reduce the amount of time that folks have had to stay, had to wait at the U.S. consulate offices. In fact, statistically, I don't know if you know this, but 1/2 of the visas that have been granted since the beginning of the pandemic actually were granted using this visa waiver program. Sorry, not the visa waiver program, maybe that's a little, but the interview waiver program at the U.S. consulates abroad. So generally, the cycle times are taking about 130 days. They're down to about 70 days, but the U.S. Department of State would like to see it at 60 days. So that's what they're striving for. So that's ultimately the goal. But the process for this stateside renewal apparently is going to be that you're going to be able to send in your H1Bs to the Department of State, and rather than traveling abroad, you're going to be able to get the visa stamp here in the States. So, for those of us who were practicing prior to 2001, we used to do this. We used to have stateside processing. So that was taken offline after 9/11. So it'll be a welcome opportunity to reduce wait times. I think it'll make a lot of people feel a lot more comfortable rather than putting themselves at the mercy of U.S. consulate officers who potentially will, issue 221G, administrative processing. But all of this yet remains to be seen. But we're going to keep everyone posted on any new developments as they occur.
Yes, that sounds like a big relief, and thank you for updating us on that as it happens. With offices in New York, New Jersey, Indiana, Florida, Canada, and India, the best counsel and representation in immigration law, that's the NPZ Law Group, and they're just a phone call or a click of a mouse away. All you need is to log on to visaserve.com or call them at 201-670-0006. And when you mention Mirchi, you get that special discount off your consult. So don't